welcome back to Pommy and Oz, or welcome to Pommy and Oz. I'm the Pom. It's great to have you here. If you are new around here, please drop a like, please drop a subscribe. We're smashing out likes, we're smashing out subs. I can't thank you enough. These legends joined the channel. You can do that there if you want to become a member. We do wonderful things. It helps to sponsor things like Domaku and all the weird and wacky, wonderful things. We've got merch just land as well. Get down to pommysportsalmanac.com.au. There's some funky shirts. They're here now. Don't be a melt. Get one of them. Impress your friends. Treat the wife. Treat someone else's wife. It's a lot more fun if you don't get caught. And what we're doing today is we're going to talk about the AFLW. How good is it starting on Monday talking about that? It's not. Let's be honest, but we'll try and have a bit of fun with it as we always do. So what we're doing is we're going to go cover it. So it was an absolute horrific loss, wasn't it? Let's be honest. 51-9 to Fremantle. It was systematically way too easy from Fremantle. And it was a tale of the first quarter, I think, encapsulates everything that's wrong with the AFLW system at the moment at Carlton Football Club. It was short, it was sharp. We had some inside-out handballs. We were moving the ball very short. It was quick. It was possession-based. It looked fairly good from, the outside in. Then the second quarter happened, and it was quite telling because Kade Simpson talked about with the wind and against the wind. And we saw what happened in the second quarter and the fourth, particularly what Carlton Girls did. And he said that the mandate was to go short again, more of the same. And we didn't actually have a short possession in the second quarter, which asks the question, are the girls not listening? Or is it what I think it is? It's been lost in translation. The ownership is not there. And it was really horrific. One of the big concerns for me when I look at this list is Carlton ranked 13th for contested ball. And you look at the girls that we've lost, Davy, Loynes, the Hoskin twins, the list goes on. All of them players are very hungry competitors. They get in and amongst it. And you're starting to see that the system we play, it's playing against our strengths. Because genuinely, you look, when we move in short chains, you're going to have higher amounts of contested possession because you want to be in a contested to commit as many people around the ball so you can then escape it and have one-on-ones around the ground. We kick to space, which then is easier to defend, easy to set up behind the ball, and ultimately, teams then move the ball short, in and amongst using the wing and the corridor, and we fall apart like butter. And it's a real concern for me that this has been here for 2 years and no one's rectified it. And all of a sudden, because we've lost Taylor Harris, our big outlet ball, it's now really obvious. The system was flawed before. But when you have players like the Hoskin twins, when you have Katie, when you have players like Davy, they're such talented goals that you get away with it. It's a little bit like, the North Melbourne game that Carlton played. When Weitering had a bit of a shocker, you started to notice how bad that back line is. And then in turn, you started to notice how bad the midfield pressure is. It cascades from there. The cascade effect is crazy. And I'm not giving Harford out because them players are leaving. But it hasn't been fixed. And then you've really got to come up with a different game plan. It was interesting to me that Del Poss played the first quarter a lot on the ball, and you saw her intent. She's a very hungry competitor. You saw how different it looked. You saw Grace Egan's wonderful chutzpah about her, the fact that she's coming back from a real big injury, but her levels of intent are so much higher than the girls that haven't had an injury. It's really alarming. And what you're seeing is some of the efforts and some of the skill errors, they are signs really of two things. One, fear of a lack of a system. And two, you're seeing a total capitulation of that system. That handball on the line to Michaela from pressure was one of the worst things for their first goal I've ever seen. And that kind of encapsulates how it ended. The kick straight to Hayley just says it all of how poor Carlton have the girls. They've been hung out to dry. Let's be honest. They are being hung out to dry. This system is so poor that there's nothing they can do. And you start to see them as the game goes on. They fold. They really do fold under this pressure. And that is a big thing. Your system is your safety blanket. And when you don't have that safety blanket, it falls off. And the plaudits will be about how well Carlton played in the first quarter. But what's alarming for me is how easy it was for Fremantle when they were in the wind. And their coach hit it on the head. When they got the ball, they looked to move it off half-back, short and sharp, using the handball and looking to cut lines. And if in doubt, retain possession. When the ball hit the deck, be there first, create the stoppage. And you just got a masterclass in how to play to the conditions. And there was no attempt from the second quarter. And I'm looking at the coach there. I mean, he talks about Jekyll and Hyde and, you know, being bullish and a mental application as opposed to a football application. The guy's talking bollocks, man. Because that is a rinse and repeat of the last 2 years. And any wins have come from star performances. That there from Fremantle was no real star performance. It was just literally them doing what they do. And it was funny because in the first quarter, we were all getting up and about. But then Terry had a great point, said, we've seen this movie before. We have seen this movie before. It's really alarming that time on time, we are seeing the same shit dished out. And where do you go from here? Like, I have so many questions about this girls' side, and it's not on the players. It's from team selection. It's from energy levels. It's from making them moves. Why did Maddie Prasparkis come on the last 2 minutes after taking that knock? And then I've heard she left the field, the venue in an ambulance. Why? Why did she come back on? Like, protect your players. The game was lost. It was a 40-point gap. Like, Maddie could have gone home. And it didn't really matter. I look at Grace Egan and she's putting the intent in, but I'm thinking, like, surely you could have given her an extra couple of days because you can see she's protecting it. She's going in hard, but she's still protecting it. I look at Poppy Schnapp. She came in for a game, got jettisoned. Maddie Gearing, where the hell is she? Like, you tell me Maddie Gearing can't put better output than some of the girls in that team at the moment. Elisa Day looks lost. And you see the way she runs around. She's not sure of a role. And there's a few girls like that. I'm watching them and I'm like, they're not 100% sure where they should be in this passage of play, in this avenue. And that is a real alarm for me. Alarm bells are ringing. And I compare it to Man United. Man United, you can see they have a system and a structure. The players just don't want to put the will in. The girls, I've got no question they're putting the will in. I think they're putting the levels of intent they're expected to. I don't think they're being questioned enough. And I don't think they're being challenged enough. And I hear Kate Simpson speak, and I'm like, Coach, get it. I hear Dan Harford speaking. It's like talking to one of the players' dads. And it's not talking to a player's dad who's an adult. It's talking to a player's dad who's at Auskick, whose kid is absolutely hopeless, but just gets on vibes. And it is really alarming for me because I'm really passionate about the women's game. And I know that not many people are, but I can see the potential and I can see the growth, and they're hindering the growth. Like, that coaching staff, that whole department is hindering the growth of this game. And it's in a poor situation because the pressure's not there around the ground. The basics, and that's what's killing it. The basics. The basics. Some of these girls are 3-4 year players. And the basics, how you let basics fly is beyond me. It gets a bit easier from here from the girls, and that is my big alarm. My big alarm for these girls is it gets easier. Because I know what my football club's like. We got St Kilda this week coming up. Do you know what I mean? We got Giants, then the Suns, ending with Melbourne. Potentially there's 3 wins there. And what worries me is if there's 3 wins, he may keep his job because we're too nice. There needs to be a ruthless element. There needs to be a ruthless element. It's really hard watching. It's hard watching. I mean, I know the girls say stick with it, and we will do because we're good people, but it's hard to watch. And I'm looking forward to this weekend because St Kilda are a basket case. But I'll tell you what, they try. They try. And that's a worry. It's a worry because they ain't going to have it easy. I'll see you on the live. Much love. Enjoy your weekend. Make sure to like and subscribe and check the merch out. Help out your Uncle Pom. Until next time, Pom out.